In the second half, much like they finished the first, with a series win. This time against the Pirates, allowing just 3 runs in 36 innings. Tonight, another playoff team comes to town, but we focus on the debut of Reynaldo Lopez.
Good to be back here after a day off. It is Dusty Baker bobblehead night. Why not? And there are toothpicks galore. Eat what you want. You'll go home with perfect gums, perfect teeth tonight, and you can be just like Dusty and call the shots from the dugout as well. Bob and FP, we look forward to the debut of the 22-year-old Reynaldo Lopez tonight. We're hearing all about the fastball, and I'm also hearing some big stuff about his off-speed deliveries as well.
Well, his changeup's good too. Fastball reaches 100. It's sit 95, 97, occasional 99. Hopefully we see triple digits tonight, but I'm looking forward to seeing the young man's debut. San Pedro de Macorís, 6 foot, 185. Probably too early to start saying Pedro Martinez, but not very similar in delivery. He's not a three-quarter guy. He's straight over the top. So for a little guy, he creates that downhill angle at 100 miles an hour. Good luck. We'll see what he does tonight. 109 strikeouts and 80-something innings in the minor leagues.
Yeah, 4 of his last 6 times out, he had double-digit strikeouts before he gets the call to make his major league debut. Murphy got the call in the bottom of the 9th on Sunday, responsible for getting the Nats at least a chance to win that ball game. They couldn't get it done, but the legend of Murphy continues. By the way, he plays third base tonight. It probably won't at all affect his league-leading numbers. To you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by American Standard Heating and Air. It's their All-Star Sales Event with up to $1,100 in instant rebates or 0% APR for 36 months.
Nice night at the ballpark. Low 90s in the district today. 87 at game time. Give you all the conditions in a moment. There he is, 22 years of age, that is, Reynaldo Lopez. So the humidity middling at 56%. Some cloudy skies overhead. And an exciting night. I mean, we haven't even mentioned that the Dodgers are in town, and they are vying for a championship in the Western Division themselves. And our old friend from the Phillies, Chase Utley, he went 3 for 11 with an RBI. When the Nats were in LA, he's always hit our ball club well. 18 homers and 94 career RBIs against the Nats, and a very good on-base percentage. Dodgers 11th in average, 9th in runs, 8th in homers. And here he is with the great fastball, the off-speed stuff. Reynaldo Lopez, he goes 6 foot 185.
So 2 13K games in the minor leagues, 112 strikeout game, 110. He's averaged 11.23 strikeouts per 9, 109 strikeouts, 31 walks on the year in 87 innings. The fastball 95 to 99. Little arm side run to it. He'll touch 100 at times. Curveball change to go with it. The change, I'm told, is really good.
Chase Utley roundly booed by our fans. Why not? Hitting 260 for the Dodgers. First pitch of his career is up and away, and we're underway at 7:06. Utley 5 homers, 27 RBIs. Solid, not great on base percentage. And Lopez right in there with mid-90s. Mike DeBuro is a 19-year big league veteran. Quinn Wolcott at first. Brian Gorman, the crew chief, there he is, 24 years at second base, and Pat Hoberg operates at third. Nats to pull, not a big shift at all against Utley, and that ball is hit high and deep to right field. Bryce Harper going back, and he's going to have to watch it go into the seats, and Reynaldo Lopez, first big league hitter, takes him deep. For Utley, his 6th of the year.
Well, home run, not the big thing right here. How he reacts is going to be the big thing. You're going to give up homers when you throw 100 miles an hour. That's just fact. You're supplying the power. Chase Utley, with a nice, short, compact swing, puts his ball club up 1-0. What does he do now? That's what I want to see. That's just a run. That's all that is.
Utley's 19th career against the Nationals. Here's Howie Kendrick, who's on a 10-game hitting streak. That ball runs inside. Kendrick just had a birthday a week ago today, having a fine year. 18 for 40 during his streak. Now that is wicked. That's 78.
Well, give Jose Lobaton credit right there, putting down a crooked finger, a couple of fingers, because anybody can hit a fastball at this level. We talk about it all the time. What are you going to get him off of your fastball with? So good first curveball for Lopez right there to get the swing and a miss. See, now he's late on the heater. So, yeah, you got to throw something else but the fastball. They'll time it up.
Yeah, 97. Also has a changeup that has this year been clocked at more than 10 miles an hour slower than his fastball. So here's a 1-2 pitch. That's a base hit beyond the reach of Clint Robinson. Well, you got an experienced hitter in there. Seeing all this velocity, he wasn't trying to do too much. And Howie Kendrick is now 3 for 8 against the Nats this year.
There's a fastball away. Look at the inside-out swing. A lot of run. It started on the outer half, ran back to the inside half, and Howie Kendrick gets it by Clint Robinson. So 2 hitters, 2 hits.
Next up, Justin Turner. Having an unbelievable year for the Dodgers. 16 homers, 60 RBIs all of last year. He's at 15 and 50 right now. It's on the inside edge. Turner 2 for 12 against the Nationals at Dodger Stadium. Long pause. And he gets that 78 to the outside edge again. Those games at Dodger Stadium, June 20, 21, 22. Those were games 3, 4, and 5 of the Nats' 7-game losing streak. They came out of that, and they've only lost 3 games since. Turner, and he hits one hard to left. Ball is hooking, fair into the corner, hits to the left of the 336 mark, and the Dodgers have hit for almost the cycle with their first 3 batters.
Well, we're going to have a meeting on the mound right now. Jose Lobaton beating Mike Maddox out there. They're going to try to calm down the young 22-year-old, but 2 hard hit balls, 1 well hit ball. Home run, single, double for the Dodgers. And I would imagine at 22 years old in your major league debut, going pretty fast out there for Reynaldo Lopez.
Yeah, next up, a very difficult left-handed batter, Adrian Gonzalez.
You get to the big leagues by being able to hit a fastball. That's what everybody judges a minor league hitter by. Can he hit the heater? Can he hit the mid to upper 90s fastball? So that's not a problem for big league hitters, but you have to get him off of that with something else. And as soon as he settles into this game and it becomes less than his major league debut in another major league game. But right now it's going fast for him, and he has to establish the off speed to get the Dodger hitters off the heater.
2-0. Missing away to Gonzalez, who's hitting .286. So 33 of his 44 RBIs in situations just like this. Shift is on. Now he's missed 3 in a row out there. Switch hitting catcher on deck. Yasmani Grandal, who's only hitting .208. So a walk here, not disastrous by any means. Rather do that than put one right down the middle this guy can hurt you with, and that's to the inside half, 3-1.
Nice job by keeping it down. Not just the fastball, it's a location of it too. You have to be right around the knees with it no matter how hard you throw.
Check swing by Gonzalez. 3-2.
Good movement down the zone again.
Big crowd gathering on a Tuesday night. I'd like to see the first out here. 3-2 pitch. Caught by Danny Espinosa. The shift positioning the infielders perfectly for that first out.
Well, he threw a strike. Check that box. But how about the scouting report by the Nats? Only played the Dodgers 3 times this year. Danny Espinosa right where he needed to be for the first out of Reynaldo Lopez's major league career.
Here's to you, advanced scout, wherever you may be on the road right now.
There you go.
So here's Grandal from the left side, hitting a .193, 208 overall. Starts him with a breaking ball. '27-year-old catcher obtained in the Matt Kemp deal a year ago December by the Dodgers. Goes off speed again. Counts even, 1-1.
Yeah, watching video on Reynaldo, his changeup's very good. It mimics his fastball. Same kind of arm side run to it late. Haven't seen one yet, though. It's been fastball, curveball.
overpowers the left-handed hitter with that one.
So hitting count 2-1. You're sitting dead red. And you get dead red, and you're a little bit late. That'll show you the giddy up on 98 late. Yeah, Grandal tardy right there.
2-2 pitch with one out. Got the breaking ball to drop right in at 80 miles an hour. 2 down.
Okay. I'm digging that. I'm digging the fastball away and the swing through 2-1, and then dropping the hammer for strike 3. Watch this, Buckler. Whoops. So he needed a strikeout. The infield was back. It's all Grandal had to do was put it in play for an RBI. He got the strikeout. His first major league strikeout. All right.
And here's Jock Peterson, first game back off the DL. He sprained the AC joint in his shoulder when he collided with the outfield wall on June 28th at Miller Park in Milwaukee. He had just started to heat up. Batting average at .236 on the year. Ball 1.
There's Nats defense behind Lopez. Worth, Revere, Harper, the outfield. Espinoza, Murphy left side. Turner, Robinson right side. And Jose Lobaton behind the plate. 41 games at third base last year for the Mets. 6 errors and 93 chances. 86 career games at the hot corner.
Counts even 1-1. Getting close to 1,000 games played career, Daniel Murphy. Time given. Peterson in the series at Dodger Stadium against the Nats. 3 for 8 with a solo home run. Crowd reacting. A lot of umpires thought that was on the corner. Mike DeMuro didn't go for it. 2 balls, 1 strike. That ball is scorched into center. Kendrick scores. Turner coming around, and the 2-out hit by Jock Peterson gets the Dodgers 3 runs in the first inning. So they welcome him back to a struggling offense.
Oh, clutch hit right there for Peterson, no doubt. Scoreboard said 99. It's usually a mile-an-hour fast, but the 98-mile-an-hour fastball right back up the middle, right where it came from. Make it 3-0.
Yasiel Puig. When the Nats were in LA, Puig had just been reinstated from injury. He was hitting .237 going into that series. He's at .257 now. Target in from Jose Lobaton.
And all kinds of rumors today that the Dodgers are making Yasiel Puig available on the trade market.
Boy, there are just a few rumors going around baseball right now.
Fun time of year.
Career numbers for the 25-year-old slugger. He gets jammed. Long way to go for Trey Turner. He will get there. One-handed basket catch over by the line. So a long first major league inning for Reynaldo Lopez.
Oh.
A little bittersweet on that one. Hopefully something tasting a little better to come.
Here, dear, eat these jalapenos. They're good for you.
Yeah. Trey Turner will lead off, and then comes Ben Revere. Ben career against the Dodgers, always successful. Not that many games, but hey, 418's 418. 0 for 5 in LA in that series earlier. Daniel Murphy's back in there. He's a third baseman tonight. Worth batting fifth. Interesting. Danny Espinosa bumped from 8 to 7 with Jose Lobaton getting the start. And here's 32-year-old Scott Kazmir.
Fastball, slider, curveball change. Fastball averages 92. He'll cut the fastball at times. Last pitch July 8th against the Padres. Allowed 3 runs on 6 hits and just 3 innings of work through 85 pitches in those 3 innings. So he faced the Nats on June 21st at Dodger Stadium. He beat them 3-2 through 6 innings, gave up 2 runs.
Kazmir has traveled a long road in his big league career. Originally drafted by the Mets. Tampa Bay, Angels, Indians, A's, Astros, and now Dodgers, where he makes his 19th start.
If you have a kid at home and he's deciding which hand to throw in, put the ball in his left hand. Just put it in there and you'll be a millionaire.
He's got Trey Turner all locked up on an 0-2 off-speed pitch. So Turner now, after a couple of hits late in the game on Sunday, 6 for 19.
Here's Dodgers defense tonight behind Kazmir. Kendrick, Peterson, Puig, your outfield. Taylor, Turner, left side. Utley, Gonzalez, right side. Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. Man, I thought that Ronaldo Lopez was going to wiggle out of that thing with just the solo home run. But I'm sure there's veterans on the bench right now telling them, you keep him at 3, you got a chance to win this.
Ben Revere hitless in that series at Dodger Stadium. And a strike from Kazmir. Ben is 2 for 7 career with an RBI against him. On 105 wins, 93 losses in his big league career with an ERA of just 1 click under 4 runs per game. Up the middle, ball goes scooting by the side of the mound. Handled there by a young man from Virginia, Chris Taylor. 2 outs. The Nats have still won 15 of their last 20 here. Look at the run differential. Plus 61. Dodgers not good in close games on the road, pretty good at home. And Clint Robinson keeps doing it when he gets a start. In his last 11 starts, he's at 250. And he has 17 RBIs in 19 starts this year. Lefty-lefty matchup and a little noise in the ballpark as Daniel Murphy is back in the lineup. Still leads the league in hitting by 20 points over DJ LeMahieu of the Rockies. Against Kazmir, 2 for 7. Target away, way away by Grandal. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Not that he needed a boost in his confidence, but just imagine what going to the All-Star game did for Daniel Murphy and have every hitter in the National League and maybe even the American League tell you how good you are.
And then watching you get 2 hits.
And possibly a few pitchers, too.
I think some American League guys said, I'm glad I'm not facing you this year.
Exactly.
2-1. Let's go to some inside the numbers by Jeep. So the batting average, the hit, still number 1. The homer Sunday got him another extra base hit. The multi-hit game still up there. Slugging, driving in runs, you name it. So even though Murph has missed several days off, only Nolan Arenado and Anthony Rizzo have driven in more runs. 2-1 pitch. Woo, up and in, and we heard Murphy react as he often does when he thinks he might be getting hit.
So he almost gets hit a lot for a guy who hangs out over the plate. You'd imagine that, right? Fastball up and in, just misses his hand.
Then I got Mike DeMuro on the forearm. Murph just as good against lefties as he is right-handers, and he's going to lift one down the right field line and drop it in for hit number 119. Ball checks up nicely. He's into second with another double, his 26th of the year. Daniel Murphy, 9th inning, pinch hitting, 1st inning. He's just getting hits whenever he plays.
Hey, I mean, when he hits it hard, he gets hits. When he hits it soft, he gets hit. Everything going his way. Daniel Murphy with the luck of the Irish all year, but this is because of hard work. Look where the ball hits, almost off the pine tar in his bat, but he's strong enough to throw it out there over Adrian Gonzalez's head. There goes the no-hitter. And that's how you have an MVP year. We saw one last year with Bryce Harper where everything went his way. Same could be said for Murphy so far this year.
So here's Bryce. 3 hits, a solo homer in the series at Dodger Stadium. One of the reasons, a big reason why the Dodgers swept the Nats, Murphy and Harper were a combined 4 for 25. Good take on a breaking ball that misses. Bryce has been on base now 34 of his last 36 games.
You remember in LA we did that whole breakdown on the open of Bryce, and then he walked up off Scott Kazmir and hit that home run to left field first at bat. It was like on cue Hollywood Bryce.
Yeah. And his previous home run in San Diego was opposite field.
Here it is. We'll flash you back to June 21st, Dodger Stadium. Bryce Harper's first at bat off Scott Kazmir, gone. Left field, right over the scoreboard. I think that was a there goes a no-hitter.
That was the first hit of the game, and that was the night Tanner Roark and the Nats led big until Yasmani Grandal hit that 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers won it 3-2. So Grandal's last couple of swings against our ball club have been very damaging. This is playable. Justin Turner, foul ball. Nationals strand Murphy in the bottom of the 1st. Long top of the 1st for Lopez. He's about to go back to work.
Park, it's important to mention that how big a night tonight is to the Nationals' international scouting department, especially in the Dominican Republic. Reynaldo Lopez is now the first Dominican player signed and developed by the Nationals to start a big league game. And to recognize that achievement, Mike Rizzo pulled Johnny DePuglia, the Nats VP of International Operations, off the road and brought him to D.C. for tonight just to make sure he could witness Lopez's debut. The big leagues probably seem pretty far away to the 16, 17, 18-year-old kids training at the Nats' various international complexes. But DePuglia told me everyone at the Nats Dominican Academy will be glued to the TVs there tonight, watching their buddy make his big league debut, something that they hope they'll experience down the road. A big night for Lopez, a big night for the Nationals Dominican Academy, a big night for the international scouting department for the Nationals overall.
All right, thanks, Dan. Welcome back, sir, with our Coons.com sideline report. This is Chris Taylor He goes up hacking, and that ball is some kind of shot on one hop to the scoreboard. So 8 batters so far and 5 hits by the Dodgers. That's about 6 really well hit balls. And by the way, at Coons, over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. So the former UVA shortstop Chris Taylor with a double. Here's Scott Kazmir. 4 sacrifice bunts this year. Most of his career in the American League. Only 55 big league at bats. Looking to move a runner. And that is a pullback on the bunt attempt and ball 1. Going to take that one on the edge. And Lopez had to duck on that throw from Lobaton to Espinosa.
So first inning for Ronaldo Lopez, he threw 22 fastballs, 5 curves. And I'm thinking to myself right now, you know, maybe the fastball's just elevated a little bit too much if you want to get real nitpicky. But the one thing I'm looking, he's attacking. He's going after guys. He's not afraid. And that's a good thing from a young pitcher.
1-1 pitch. Good bunt. Maybe a play at third, but Lobaton thought about it for a second. Then he gets the shore out on the 1-4 to Turner.
So Taylor runs real well, and I think that's a really good decision by Jose Lobaton. Initially it looks like go to third, you got him, but look at Taylor's speed and how fast he's getting to third base. I watched him on the double. He could really fly. So nice bunt by Scott Kazmir. Gets the job done.
Here's the infield in now. Nats already down by 3. And here's Chase Utley. I guess it's not that surprising that what we saw last inning was only his 2nd career leadoff homer, because his entire career in Philadelphia he hit at least 1 or 2 spots behind Jimmy Rollins.
First changeup right there by Lopez. So I was kind of getting to before the bunt is, you know, mix in a few more off-speed pitches, settle into this game, keep it right there, you got a chance. They score a couple more runs, it's going to be real hard.
Target away. Ball got a lot of plate, but it was low, 2-0.
And Dusty Baker trying to control things right now by bringing the infield in.
2-0 to Utley. Aha, there's the changeup again. And there's the difference, that Pete, we talked about this earlier. He's been clocked 85, 86. Mercedes-Benz will track it. And that's a lot slower than the fastball.
I think it might have been Coach Murph going to the mound, saying, let's try some changeups here.
Well, who knows better how to approach hitters than Daniel Murphy? 3-1.
I mean, that was a good change. If he can throw that for a strike, it'll make 98 play 98. But if you're just throwing upper 90s, like I said when Lucas Giolito pitched against the Mets, the big league hitters could hit a bullet if they know it's coming.
Utley a base hit. So he's 2 for 2, and the Dodgers lead 4-0 on 6 hits. They've gone 6 for their first 9 with a sacrifice.
Might have been a changeup right here, and Utley just stayed back, was on it, almost like he knew it was coming. I mean, that's an impressive at-bat by a veteran hitter. You're facing a guy that throws 98 and you stay back on 88 like that.
Howie Kendrick next, and he extended that hitting streak first time. That was a big hit by Kendrick because Lopez had just given up the homer. It was a 2-strike count. Kendrick got something to take the other way, not hit that hard, but that got them restarted on the rally in that first. No 2 with 1 out to a veteran hitter. He'll put it in play and get a base hit. So 3 more hits in this inning. And now Justin Turner coming up.
Comes Mike Maddox again to try to calm down his young right-hander. Dodgers are on everything. I mean, he's throwing off speed, they're staying back. He's throwing fastballs, they're gearing up. A lot of times at the minor league level, there's not a lot of cameras around to show if you're tipping your pitches. But there's scouts, they see things, and I don't know if the Dodgers have picked something up or not, or he's just throwing everything out over the plate. But it's odd to see guys stay back on off speed when a guy throws almost 100, and the last 2 hitters have. Usually you're way out in front when a guy throws 100.
Justin Turner, his double down the left field line might have been the hardest hit ball in that first inning. First and second, 1 out. A run home. It's 4-0 LA. Counts even.
.42 pitches, a lot of redlining for the young Reynaldo Lopez early.
And a 2-1 pitch. Way out ahead is Justin Turner on that curveball. And then caught looking with 88 on the change. So Justin Turner saw everything that Reynaldo Lopez has in that at bat.
Well, it's a big strikeout. You know, right now he's pitching to stay in this ball game. You know, 4-0 Dodger lead, 45 pitches, well located, good frame, and a big strikeout. You see the changeup grip, the release. I mean, his off speed's been good. I've liked his curveball, I've liked his changeup.
Here's Gonzalez, who lined out up the middle first time. It's a bouncing ball up the middle. Backhand play, a nifty one by Trey Turner. So the damage limited to 1 run in the second. Worth, Robinson, Espinosa coming up. Dodgers by 4.
to tell Ronaldo Lopez what he's seeing at third base. I honestly, I think Lopez's stuff has been really, really good here tonight. The Dodgers are just on everything for whatever reason. I wouldn't say that if I didn't think it. Curveball's been good, changeup's been good, fastball's 98. What more do you want from a guy? But it just seems like the Dodgers are on everything.
Hey, Murph's all in on every aspect of this game for his new ball club. So to the bottom of the second, Scott Kazmir gave up a double to Murphy. But on a night that's a little more comfortable with that cloud cover, we go to the bottom of the second. He threw 14 pitches, 8 strikes first inning. Jason Worth is 5 out of 7 career against the left-hander. Jason had a good series in LA as well. He was 5 out of 12 in that 3-game set. 286 career against LA pitching. We're playing Worth really deep with Jock Peterson in center. Big gap left center. Now he takes a couple steps in on 0-2, and Worth can't reach that one, tailing away. Kazmir has struck out the first 2 leadoff hitters he has faced. When the Nats win and win big, that's 7 runs or more with a W. You get 50% off. Regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com. Enter promo code NATS50. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, the official pizza of your Nationals, and that's valid at participating DMV Papa John's.
A 4-run cushion for Scott Kazmir. Now you be a little more relaxed out there, loosey-goosey, kind of pound the strike zone, let your defense work behind you. You know you don't have to be perfect.
And Robinson's going to drop one into left center. He'll make a big round to the bag here as Jock Peterson gets to it. So Clint Robinson, last 12 starts now, hitting around 260 with that base hit.
Pretty swing right here. Little inside out piece. Fastball in the inner half. Watch him pull his hands in, get the barrel of the baseball. And the more you watch Clint Robinson play, the more you like him. I mean, we loved him last year off the bench, spot start, whatever he did, but he's getting some time now, and you're loving his swing.
Espinoza, 267 from the right side.
I think he hit a home run off Kazmir in Dodger Stadium.
Leading off the 5th inning, went deep to left. At the time, that was Danny's 13th of the year. He has 18 now. Yeah, Harper and Espinoza with the homers had the Nats ahead 2-0 all night until Grandal got Tanner Roark in the 8th inning. That's way inside, 1-1.
June 21st, same game. We showed you Bryce Harper going the other way. Danny pulled what looked like a high changeup. Just gets over the left field fence. Howie Kendrick takes a look. Lefty catches it. Lefty pitched it.
Espinoza still hitting .304 his last 34 games.
Earl Hershiser came over to the booth, the analyst, one of the analysts for the Dodgers, and he asked about Danny Espinoza, and my response was, he's the sneaky MVP of this ball club right now. And I don't even know how sneaky it is, to be honest with you. Obviously Daniel Murphy, and there's a few pitchers, 113-0. But as far as position players go, that's what I tell people.
The ball in the dirt. And the first base umpire, Quentin Wolcott, called Danny for a swing there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Probably went. Check it out from the side. Check out the big leg kick. Close, but he went.
Yeah, you saw the home plate umpire watching the ball there as it got away from Grandal. The quick appeal. They handled it well. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's on the outside edge. Casimir 2 Ks in this inning, 3 in the game. 2 down.
Pretty good pitch by Scott Casimir. This is paint. Look where Grandal is set up. Look where the ball hits. Right on the black. Perfect pitch.
Jose Lobaton from the right side this year. 0 for 12. 188 overall. I can't think of anybody in this town who needed a day off yesterday more than Wilson Ramos. And he gets another one tonight.
Yeah, we were all fried at the end of that one. Dusty Baker said he missed the whole Starly Marte with the pitcher on deck thing. Wilson Ramos missed it. I missed it up here. Scorecard was a mess. Dusty said his was a mess. He said before he could get 4 fingers up, the pitch was thrown to Marte and the ball was out of the ballpark. And he blamed himself for the loss the other day. And whenever you think about the move and him not seeing it, you have to love a manager that's accountable and doesn't make up excuses and wears it and takes the pressure off the players.
Yeah, pitcher spot was up next. Jonathan Neese, followed by others. And they only had 1 player left, and that was Gregory Polanco, who was sidelined with a hamstring. 2-1 to Jose Lobaton. By the way, tonight, Miami at Philadelphia. Jose Urena for the Marlins. They're scoreless. Syndergaard and the Mets at Chicago. Jake Arrieta there. They are scoreless early. And a ball hit well up the middle. To his right, Chase Utley with an outstanding play to Chris Taylor.
How old's Chase Utley again?
Chase Utley is 32. Maybe more. I'll have to check.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. He's playing like he's 22. Home run, great play. Robin, Jose Lobaton.
37.
Don't miss Bryce Harper Kids Jersey Day on Sunday, July 24th. Nats host the Padres. First 10,000 Rugrats 12 and under receive this special giveaway. Visit Nationals.com/tickets today. I like the simple promotions, you know? Remember back in the day when you would just go get the adjustable helmet day at the ballpark? That was always my favorite one. Jason Worth, Fathead Night. Three-headed Jason Worth, that is scary. Remember the bat giveaways, the little mini bat? I love the simple promotions. Those are the best.
In the minor leagues, and all but 2 starts were at Double-A for Lopez. Almost 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. Some other prospects, 2 of them with Tampa Bay. Jeep takes us inside some minor league numbers, but a whole different ball game at this level.
Seat cushion giveaways, those were great.
Yeah. Those were known to fly through the air after a controversial call against the home team.
Well, they had them for the Winter Classic here. When the Caps scored the winning goal, they were flying everywhere in this park. It was an awesome sight. Maybe that's why they don't do it.
Yasmani Grandal was hitting 180 before he hit that home run against Tanner Roark. And by the way, Murphy and Espinoza just switched positions on the shift. After ball 1, they flip-flopped. So Danny's more at shortstop. Murphy is more at his natural position up the middle, right in front of the umpire, Brian Gorman. So since the homer, and including the homer, he hit against Tanner Roark, Yasmani Grandal's hitting .281 with 7 home runs and 14 RBIs. So that one swing really jump-started his second half. And that was well before the second half started. Struck out looking first time tonight. Check swing. And he has struck out again. 3 straight hitters retired by Reynaldo Lopez. 2 on strikes. Nissan will track it.
A good pitch. He was gearing up for the fastball. Couldn't hold up. Did he go? Kind of exactly like Danny Espinoza's swing.
Yeah. If Espinoza was rung up, he should have been too. Here's Jock Peterson. Big hit in the first inning. The single up the middle that made it 3-0.
Good idea right there. Establish that inner half of the plate. Make guys cheat to get to your upper 90s fastball in the inner half, and it'll open up everything else.
And if you're wondering, in their lineup, where's the all-star shortstop, Corey Seager? Left-handed batter. Well, tonight's part of his all-star break that the Dodgers are giving him. He's got the night off.
So wait, timeout. You make the all-star team, you get an all-star break, and then because you're an all-star, you get another all-star break when you come back? No, I heard the same thing.
Yeah, in some cases, maybe it's a one-day break. That kid can play, man.
That's incentive to make the all-star team. You get like 2 weeks off.
And by the way, the Dodgers got some bad news, though, today. Orel Hershiser, through a simulated game, had discomfort, had to come out. Pardon me, Kershaw. Did I say Hershiser?
He did, but that's not.
Well, he should be feeling discomfort.
I got to tell the fans why you just said that. Because Orel Hershiser came in before the game and told a story about Tim Kirchin calling Clayton Kershaw Orel Hershiser in a live report. So it's his fault, not yours. That guy, Orel Hershiser.
Hey, not a bad shortstop next to him, Nomar.
Yeah, he could hit.
Yeah, Kershaw. Discomfort coming out of that sim game. There was talk he would start here Thursday afternoon in that noon game. So right now, Bud Norris replaces Hyung Jin Ryu, who is going to start tomorrow. But he and Casey Fien out of their bullpen have been put on the DL with shoulder tendonitis.
Chan-Ho Park on Thursday.
I'll take it. See if somebody can hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning off him.
Sandy Koufax next time.
2-2. Look out, guys, in the camera bay. Ball deflects out onto the field. One out, 2-2 to Peterson. Swing and a miss on a ball diving down and away. That's the changeup. Now he has struck out 3 of the last 4.
I mean, you would imagine at 22, your major league debut, I'm going to throw it by everybody. I don't care if you're big league hitters. I throw 100, and here it comes. Well, I think Reynaldo Lopez is learning as this game goes on that A, they're going to hit the fastball if it's not located and up, no matter how hard it is. And B, you can strike guys out with your off speed because that's pretty good too. And I don't care what the score says right now as far as evaluating this kid. He's got electric stuff.
Yasiel Puig is next.
There you go, throw that fastball then, move some feet, get him aware of the inner half of the plate, then go curveball, then go changeup. Perfect, stay in there.
That's a swing, says Quinn Wolcott down at first. Yeah, Puig had his hands moving.
But now if you go curveball, Carp, or even fastball to the other side of the plate, he's made Puig aware of upper 90s on the inner half. And as a hitter, I really have to start my swing early to get to it.
See, there's the big hook. That's some pitching right there. Reynaldo Lopez. The inning in the big leagues we've all been looking for. And a 1-2-3. He'll lead off in the third. So 5 strikeouts and his first AB coming. How quick is that to 500 strikeouts in his career? Aroldis Chapman, he went up 105 twice against the Orioles. And Terry Ryan has been battling some health problems and has been a part of the Minnesota organization for a long time, has been let go by the Twins. They are struggling, 33 and 59. By the way, Doc Gooden and Yu Darvish, the 2 pitchers quicker than Fernandez to reach 500 strikeouts.
105 twice. I saw it last night. He destroyed somebody's bat. I forget who was hitting. I don't even think your brain can process that, can it?
That's absolutely no reaction time. I mean,
faced Rudy Cianez. He threw like 104. It's the fastest I ever saw, and it was just guess and swing.
Just for the sake of it, 2 for 9 minor league at bats career for Lopez, and he strikes out looking there. That's 4 Ks for Scott Kazmir, so the first time through the order. The Nationals go 2 for 7 against the 32-year-old left-hander. So we're into the 8 o'clock hour here as we reset some things. It looks like Lopez has reset his evening. He's retired 5 in a row, 4 on strikes. Now the Nats trying to solve Scott Kazmir. This ball high in the air, approaching the seats. It'll be close, and it's reachable for Adrian Gonzalez, who's won a couple of Gold Gloves at first base. 2 outs.
Pretty nice play for a guy that hasn't played a ball game in this park this year. Did you see him peek at the last second? He took his eye off the ball about 3 steps before you're looking at. And that Dodger fan right there was running interference on his own player. That was a nice play by Adrian Gonzalez. You remember the play he made in Dodger Stadium where over the shoulder, hit his leg, hit his glove, hit his thigh, and then that was off of Chase Utley's glove. Remember that? A whole month ago?
Yes, sir. There were a few things that went wrong for the Nats of a close call nature in that series. So here's Revere trying to get on for Murphy. Get a bouncing ball to short first time. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, bottom of the 3rd. Kazmir only 3 innings his last time out. Gave up 6 hits, 3 runs against San Diego. Dodgers eventually won the game 10-6. Going up the middle and making a good play is Chris Taylor, who will lead off in the top of the 4th. So the Nats only 2 hits off Kazmir. LA 4, Washington nothing.
Big league start. Maybe some nerves involved early in the ball game. Look at the location of these pitches. A lot of plate, right? 98. Just want to change up to Chase Utley, who hit it like he knew it was coming. And now watch. Off a fastball into Jock Peterson, he gets him to swing. Look at pitch number 3 to Puig and pitch number 4. So fastball in for a check swing, strike 2. Curveball down the way. All of a sudden, Reynaldo Lopez is pitching.
$14 pitches, 10 strikes last inning. So last 20 pitches, untouchable. Chris Taylor, Scott Kazmir, Chase Utley. Top of the 4th inning. Chris Taylor was born in Virginia Beach, signed with Seattle, out of UVA, where he was a high school AAA player of the year, then went to Charlottesville and was one of the nation's top shortstops for a couple of years. Dodgers picked him up for pitcher Zach Lee last month. He went up swinging early and doubled off the scoreboard on a hop to lead off the 2nd inning. To short, Danny Espinosa. 6 in a row.
Your first place Nats close out the homestand against Will Myers in the Padres. No other Padres are coming. It's just Will Myers. It's going to be 9-on-1. It starts Friday, July 2nd, 7:05. Saturday, July 23rd, 7:05. Sunday, July 24th, 1:35. Get your tickets today at nationals.com/tickets. The Nats are bound to win those games. The Padres are only bringing one guy.
I don't like his chances. Sammy Solis in the middle of your picture there, placed on the DL today with right knee inflammation, but that's retroactive to 11 days ago. Hasn't pitched in a week and a half. That cleared the roster spot for Reynaldo Lopez. So Ryan Zimmerman still making progress, as is Joe Ross. Aaron Barrett, he's been working hard for a year now, and Sammy Solis on the DL. But again, retroactive to 11 days ago.
A couple guys sick, too. Stephen Drew under the weather. Anthony Rendon still not feeling well.
Yeah.
Saw Chris Davis last night missed the game because he wasn't fit. It's going around.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Kazmir. Laid down a perfect sacrifice first time.
It's a good pitch. He's thinking this was a strike in Double-A and even Triple-A, and it should be in the big leagues.
Should be. Mercedes-Benz showing one that was not called. So he'll overpower the left-handed batter. It's a foul ball. Murphy doesn't play umpire. He just plays the baseball. So with more on the rotation, here's Dan.
Bob, Mike Rizzo acknowledging today that it's no coincidence that on the same day that Reynaldo Lopez makes his big league debut, Lucas Giolito starts for AAA Syracuse and Joe Ross through a 35-pitch simulated game. The Nationals are going to evaluate those 3 guys over these next couple weeks and then decide who will take this final spot in the rotation until Ross is eligible to come off the disabled list, or should I say ready to come off the DL.
Another strikeout. Number 6. And because Lopez had to be added to the 40-man roster today, the Nats lost one of their minor league pitchers.
Well, they better find him. And there's another strikeout from Reynaldo Lopez. And all of a sudden, it's turned into just another baseball game for Reynaldo.
He's missing, and they're not going to find him because right-hander Abel De Los Santos was claimed on waivers by the Reds. Top of the order, Chase Utley. Homer, single, 2 RBIs.
You can tell he's getting his rhythm. It's baseball now. It's not his major league debut. Got to figure this guy out, though.
Yeah, so he went with off speed in the first pitch. Utley trying to bunt something that was diving and darting. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Danny Espinosa is playing short. Nobody at third base, so Chase Utley looking for hit number 3. You can see the temptation there, even with 2 outs.
Man, he's got a hot hitter behind him, and Howie Kendrick. Got him on the edge.
Pitching, man.
Chase Utley sees a bunch of off-speed stuff. He's not happy with the call as he stands there for a while. And that is now 8 in a row for Reynaldo Lopez. Gabe looks like he wants to go wire to wire. Here comes George. No contest. Number 16 all the way. He's got the belt for another day. There's another guy leading a race. It's a batting race. Daniel Murphy.
It's time for some Lowe's home field advantage. Daniel Murphy, best average at home, right behind DJ LeMahieu and some guy. What's that second guy's name, Corp?
He's a center fielder now.
Ian Desmond. Some guy from Texas that plays center field.
Good for him.
That's a good park to hit in Texas. As soon as he signed there, I said his right center swing, you love it there.
10 of 12 first pitch strikes now for Scott Kazmir. As Murphy starts off the bottom of the fourth.
There's Desmond.
He'll have fans around here for a while.
Absolutely. He was a great Nat.
Nats will play the Rangers in Interleague next year. We're not sure where.
Ballpark?
The Nationals have never been to Arlington.
Aren't they supposed to get a new amazing stadium that like floats on water or something?
Yeah, they're trying to keep up with Jerry World down there, I think. I mean, their ballpark's not that old. It opened in the early 90s.
It's pretty old to today's standards. And I know what you're saying. You think about Fenway and Wrigley Field, but I mean, to sign free agents now and to get the best players, you have to have the best amenities. You do. If it's all you had to do is go in the Cubs clubhouse once to know that. That was ridiculous.
Two-one pitch. Aye, up and in, 3-1. The sights and sounds of Daniel Murphy.
Yeah, I just love the guy. The only thing that's post-1980s about Daniel Murphy is the batting gloves. Otherwise, you could throw him in like 1982. But I think they had batting gloves then. They were all Saranacs.
Murphy gets under one. It's out to right center. A lot of Dodgers around. Chase Utley finished off the play.
That's going to be a rule.
And by the way, the Nats did play at Texas
Chase
very
Utley,
first year.
This is Chase Utley rule number 2. Crashed into a shortstop.
Yeah. Veteran takes pop-ups over rookie.
Yeah. That's a collision. You can't touch your own teammates. That'll be a rule next year.
You know, talking about ballparks as we were for a moment, it's still kind of staggering to think that Dodger Stadium is the 3rd oldest. Does anybody know who the next 2 oldest ballparks are after Dodger Stadium?
I miss having trivia on the broadcast. We need to bring that back, except for you ruined it because you'd answer it every time. But we should do it. Seriously.
Well, I was first learning how to use a computer about 8 years ago.
Anaheim? Oakland? Wait, what'd you say?
You just got both of them. They're tied for 4th.
Sweet, I didn't even cheat.
So you know, everybody talks about how great California is. 3 of the oldest ballparks are in California.
The taxes are high there, man.
I mean, can anybody afford anything out there? Come on, build a new park. Padres did. Giants did. Mariners did. I thought that was interesting. Tied for 4th, both in 1966. Los Angeles Angel Anaheim Stadium of Southern California and the Oakland Coliseum. Is it still OCO?
I don't even know.
O.Co Park?
I don't even know.
Haven't been out there in a couple years. So Harper pops it up, racing over the mound and then jumping up to grab it. Chris Taylor. 2 adventurous pop-ups, and now Jason Worth. Nats yet to draw a walk tonight, but when they do, it's $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. So the Nats have drawn a lot of walks, 335. They're over $16,000. Take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. That's what Care First Blue Cross wants us to do. Worth has drawn 46 walks this year, and that's 8th in the league. Jason's been on base 22 games in a row.
It might have the best walk-up song in baseball right there. Too legit to quit.
The Nats have not had back-to-back hits since the 7th inning Sunday against the Pirates. They had 4 hits in extra innings. The Pirates had 5. So some things have quieted down for the offense here. 1-1 to Worth. Cubs have a run in the bottom of the 3rd against Noah Syndergaard and the Mets. 1-0 there. Marlins and Phillies have traded runs in the 4th. Christian Yelich, his 8th home run. And for the Phillies, with his 13th, Tommy Joseph. I know you liked his swing a lot when we were in Philly last time.
Yeah.
One and 2 to Worth. Tailing away, Scott Kazmir mastering the Nats. At the moment, 2 hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts in 4 innings. And the 4th inning of Nationals baseball was brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid. All-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Tonight,
rocky early on, maybe understandable if you're 22 years old and you've thought about pitching the big leagues your whole life, but then all of a sudden you're starting to see what everyone's talking about with Ronaldo Lopez. All the strikeouts, he's been setting up pitches, pitching in, making Yasiel Puig aware of 98 on the inner half, then throwing the curveball away, buckling guys with it. He's pitching now. When he came out, he was just all amped up throwing fastballs, and they were going all over the campsite, but he's really settled down nice.
8 in a row. 6 of those on strikeouts. Here's Howie Kendrick, base hit to right, base hit to left. And last time, Hendricks singled on an 0-2 pitch, or Kendrick rather. He's now 20 for 42 during an 11-game hitting streak. Ball 2. And a 2-1, a little bit away.
Yeah, Howie Kendrick's a guy that likes to get extended and use the right side of the field. Got to crowd him with the heater.
That one too far inside, and for Lopez, his first walk. With more on the battery tonight, here's Dan.
Bob, another factor to consider here with Lopez settling in is that Jose Lobaton, the first time that he caught Lopez was in Reynaldo's bullpen session before the game, and he told me earlier today that he was going to need to learn more about Reynaldo as the game went on, pick up little tidbits as each inning progressed, learn more about his stuff, how he liked Lobaton to set up on the corner, maybe a little bit off the corner when it came to certain pitches. So they're getting into a little bit of a groove here as well, not just Lopez, but working with Jose Lobaton.
Here's Turner, a double in 2 trips. So that broke up a string of 8 consecutive batter retired. Turner, the first of those, with a called third strike, with a couple of men aboard and 1 out in the second. Now, because of the secondary pitches, Turner looked late for that one.
Good block.
Runner on the move, swinging a foul straight back. Howie Kendrick doesn't run a lot, but he's 7 of 8 this year.
That's straight steal too. He didn't look back at all. You saw him slide after the foul ball was already hit, so he was trying to rip that one, and Justin Turner thought he could handle that pitch. Almost the same pitch Turner hit his double on, the fastball up.
Two with nobody out. Kendrick holding. That ball was hanging. And just into left field. Turner 2 for 3. Now the stage of the ball game when that bullpen phone might ring soon. 5th inning of work.
Join the Nats in honoring the United States Marine Corps on Wednesday, July 20th, 7:05 versus the Dodgers. I think like that's tomorrow. Part of the team's series of military branch days delivered by UPS. Visit nationals.com/tickets. So tomorrow, Marine Corps Day.
Gio Gonzalez and Bud Norris.
Safest ballpark in America tomorrow.
On the edge, strike 1. Adrian Gonzalez, a line drive out up the middle. And a ground ball on which Trey Turner made a fine backhand play in the second. Blocked by Lobaton. Ball bouncing toward third. Kendrick stays.
Tell you what, that's a wild pitch with about 9 out of 10 major league catchers. Jose Lobaton working hard back there for his young right-hander. And this is a short one, right? This is in front of the plate. Watch Jose Lobaton just sacrifice his body to keep that thing in front and keep that double play in order.
One pitch. There's the change, and it's outside. Defense behind him that's turned the 3rd most double plays in the league. 90 for the Nats. Gonzalez the most grounded into by a Dodger with 12. But for the most part, a power pitcher who tends to work up in the zone. Keeping that one down and hit very well into left field. Kendrick had to hold up. Chris Woodward's going to send him anyway, and the Dodgers lead 5-0. Walk, single, single. And now LA has out-hit Washington 9-2. Mike Maddox to the mound again.
It's something out of the stretch. The Dodgers are picking up something out of the stretch, because when he's in his windup, they can't hit him. When he gets into the stretch, it's almost like they know what's coming. And they'll figure it out, whatever it is.
Several guys moving around out there, but nobody throwing yet. Nobody out. 5th inning. Yasmani Grandal is next. Lopez has struck him out looking and swinging. One ball, one strike. Matt Belisle throwing his first couple of pitches out there. Nets pitcher spot due up in the 4th position, bottom of the 5th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Grandal, a check swing for a foul.
I'll tell you what, the curveball's been good too. I know he's given up 5 runs on 9 hits, but from a pure baseball valuation standpoint, this guy's going to be okay. Not what he dreamed up in his major league debut, but he's going to be all right.
Counts back even, 2-2. Nasty hook. Strikeout number 8. And that's a very important first out here in the 5th inning. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Well, he's figured Yasmani Grandal out. That's the 3rd time he struck out. Nice curveball right there. Grandal looking for the heater, got the curveball. Good pitch.
Jock Peterson, 2-run single, 1st inning. Swinging strikeout in the 3rd. Off-speed stuff continues to be good.
That was just his shorten up, go to left field swing right there. Watch him just take a little off this swing. I just want to single the left. Whew, oh my goodness. I guess he bet fastball didn't get it, but I like guys that swing like that.
Yeah. They were swinging like that 1 week ago tonight in San Diego.
They were home run derby. He was a part of it 2 years ago. He was right up there with Frazier.
0-1. So that 97 fastball and the foul moves our robotic camera around on the screen down there. And the count is 0-2.
See, that's a good pitch, and he'll learn as he moves along that 0-2, if you throw that pitch 1-2 after 98 that comes close to Peterson, something inside that makes him feel a fastball in, as a hitter you're saying, oh God, I got to really gear up to get this heater in. Then you cheat to get to that, and the curveball works off of that. So all of this stuff, a learning process.
Yeah, 22 pitches this inning have him up to 95. Espinosa keeping that runner close, and Turner diving back in.
Say the guy that comes to mind just stuff-wise so far is Carlos Martinez from the Cardinals, but he doesn't have the same three-quarter release sling thing that Martinez has going on. He's more over the top, but same body type, same velocity, same arsenal.
One ball and 2 strikes. Nats still looking for that ground ball. Another long look. Sounds like time had been given before that throw. Mike DeMuro, the home plate umpire, gave the visual, and Brian Gorman at second base as well.
That was close. Look at Espinosa. Give it to me. Turner way off the bag, and they're trying to pick him off. Ooh.
Yeah, that might be one to look at if time hadn't been called. And a 1-2 low. Lucas Giolito tonight. Syracuse against Gwinnett. The Braves AAA 6 2/3. 7 hits, 1 run, none earned. 7K, 2 walks, 104 pitches. Matt Belisle ready as the pitch count now just 2 clicks under 100. Got him with the off speed. Strikeout number 9 for the second out here in the 5th inning. Yasiel Puig is next.
Pretty good curveball right here. 12-6. Jock Peterson shortening up with 2 strikes.
Not really.
He does not change a thing no matter what the count is. He does not get cheated. Good pitch.
Well, I don't know, hitting 236, maybe he needs to change that 2-out swing.
Nobody does anymore with 2 strikes. They're all hacking. It's the get off my lawn portion of the show.
Well, if that's the case, you got a grumpy neighbor living right next door to you. With you all the way on that one.
Yeah.
So here is Puig, who has popped out to Turner and struck out swinging. Dusty would ideally like Lopez to finish this 5th inning. Then if it goes 4 batters in the bottom, he can bat for him rather than having to bring in Belisle for maybe 1 out and then pinch hit for him, because Matt Belisle's the kind of guy in a game like this, he could come out of the bullpen and save you for the rest of the series and pitch 2 to 3 innings. 1-0 coming. Out of play, right side. So as he's over 100,
It's the same thing he did in 5 of his last 6 starts in the minor leagues. 4 of those at Harrisburg, 2 of those at Syracuse. And in 4 of those games, he had double-digit strikeouts.
Well, he's 1 away from a 10 strikeout game.
Yeah. So he would conceivably have 15 outs and around 2/3 of them on strikes. Inside Dupuig, same thing he did to him last time, 2-1. Pretty good job of jamming a big, strong right-handed batter.
Be a nice way to end right here. Big out to get if he could get his 10th strikeout. Fans behind the youngster.
Yeah, well done by the crowd. Some of them standing. Their team's down 5-0. They want to see the youngster finish with a flourish. Three and 2 now. The runner's on the move. Up the middle, base hit. Turner scores. Gonzalez to third. It's 6-0. And Dusty may have to go get him.
He goes curveball right there. He had him.
So Lopez will give up 10 hits in 4 2/3.
Outs, runners on first and second. Top of the 5th inning. Tex Masson's word of the day combo to 29292 for a chance to win a signed Mike Rizzo baseball Outback gift card for Masson, brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. That's not Outback Steakhouse on your screen right now. Open for lunch every day with over 70 combos starting at $6.99. Not Outback Steakhouse right there.
Yeah, in that building there's a lot of rules.
Yeah, there's some lines too.
So the runner going, and Puig immediately stealing second base. Yasiel Puig, 5th of the year in 7 attempts.
I think he broke his belt. Did he break his belt? What's he coming over to third for? Did he bust out of his belt? Tell you what, if the Dodgers want to trade that guy, there's going to be some teams that take a chance.
Adrian Gonzalez with a kick to the back of his uniform. So it's second and third, 2 outs.
Well, we got a little wardrobe malfunction. Yasiel Puig playing right out of his belt. And you don't want to run around third with his pants falling down, so that's a good thing.
Chris Taylor 1 for 2 tonight. And this young hitter, who will be walked to get to Kazmir, will still be 6 for his last 11.
I like the look. I think more Dodgers should wear stirrups like that.
Yeah, I had one of their broadcasters, our old buddy Charlie Steiner, say they like that about him. He's old school, plays hard, dives around. As I mentioned, when he was at UVA, he was considered one of the top shortstops in the nation in 2 years there. Drafted by Seattle, now the Dodgers have him. That job probably taken for a while with Corey Seager the way he's going, but you hit and play the game the right way, they'll find a place for you.
He's going so good, he got his own personal all-star break. That's how good he is.
Yeah. So Belisle with a curveball in there to Scott Kazmir, who's 0 for 1 with a sacrifice tonight. 3 for 30 this year. 6 career hits and 56 at bats. Pretty good rip.
If the Dodgers ever do anything in the postseason, Corey Seager has a chance to be Derek Jeter West, in my opinion. He's that good.
So Gonzalez had an RBI single. So did Yasiel Puig, who stole second. Taylor intentionally walked. And Belisle strikes out Kazmir. So through 4.5, it's all Dodgers 6-0 on 10 hits off Reynaldo Lopez. And the accounts and descriptions of is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. The manicuring and decoration of a big league ball field. Just about perfect out there. So we go bottom 5. Robinson, Espinoza, Lobaton, Freight Railworks with our Nats do-ups. So Clint Robinson facing Kazmir, already 1 hit tonight, 6 for 18 against lefties. Danny Espinoza continues to hit over 300 since early June. And Jose Lobaton hit the ball well first time, robbed of a hit. Stu hitting the ball pretty well when he gets a chance to start.
Nats need to get the line moving inning. Get something together, a walk, a hit by pitch, a base hit. Get that line moving. It's been a while since we've seen that line move, it feels like.
22 innings going back to the start of Sunday's game. 1 run on just 10 hits. The Nats did finish the Saturday night game well with a 4-run 7th inning to beat the Pirates 5-1. So best run support, Steven Strasburg up there. Kazmir has been given lots of run by the Dodgers as well. He's had a bunch of no decisions lately. 11 starts, 5-0 with a 3.88 ERA. But they're getting him a ton of runs. It's all brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. His ERA on the road this year is 5.40. There's Yusmeiro Petit. (1-0) to Clint Robinson. And that breaking ball drops in, 1-1. So we were chatting during the break about Lopez and his debut, second highest strikeout total ever. Strasburg's 14, of course, back in 2010 against the Pirates, #1. Joel Hanrahan against the Mets.
Who could forget that one?
Well, he was a starter back then and then became a pretty good closer. That was back in 07. He struck out 7 batters in his big league debut.
A classy move by Nats fans, taking Ronaldo Lopez off the field with a standing O.
Yeah.
How many times do you see that? Kid gives up 6 runs, but he struck out 9. I think everybody in the park tonight saw what we saw. There's a really high upside there. I saw a kid in his major league debut give it all he had.
And that one on the corner. Robinson strikes out taking. Strikeout number 6 for Kazmir. Nissan will track it.
Kazmir pulling a Sandy Koufax here tonight. He has only given up 2 hits. Just nibbling, hitting the corners. There's Sandy. He's here tonight. Sitting next to Max. Having a chat about pitching, lefties, righties, all sitting together next to Bryce.
And a tapper on a hop. Espinoza 0 for 2. Horrible throw by Kazmir, but he threw it so bad it took a long hop to Adrian Gonzalez.
That needed a cutoff, man.
His infield's going to all come in and talk to him about that throw.
He might be hurt.
Uh-oh.
I think they saw what we're seeing. Something happened.
There's Dave Roberts.
Maybe cramp. Stretching out a little bit. Had some crampage. Justin Turner having a laugh, so it looks like he's okay. Maybe somebody busted out the cutoff man joke down there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Landed funny. Relay. Yeah, he landed funny on the angle of the mound, the downslope. Got him a little bit. Not even throwing a practice pitch. He's okay.
Jose Lobaton with 2 outs. Matt Belisle is on deck. As you saw, Petit throwing. So it's up to Lobaton to get on base here with 2 outs and give Dusty a decision to make. 2-0. That ball really well hit, high in the air, deep left field. See you later. Jose Lobaton, 3rd of the year, first batting right-handed. The Nationals are on the board.
Well, that's a start. Chipping away. 3rd home run of the year for Jose Lobaton. The Buffalo takes his helmet off, and it's a grooved fastball right down Broadway, and Jose Lobaton got all of it.
Matt Belisle will still be the hitter. Jose Lobaton's first career hit against Scott Kazmir goes high and far. For the Nats, their 128th home run. Started the night tied with the Mets for #1 in the National League. And Belisle takes a nice hit.
Yeah, that's a good rip. Do that again.
He's 0 for 1 this year.
102, 395. Rally goggles.
That'll end the 5th inning. Nats on the board. Couple of strikeouts by Kazmir, but Jose Lobaton goes high and deep to left. First right-handed homer this year and the 17th of his big league career. Nets on the board. First home run since Murphy's 9th inning shot on Sunday. So Matt Belisle out there for another inning. Matt threw 4 intentional balls out of the zone to walk Chris Taylor. Then he threw 3 strikes to Scott Kazmir. Faces Chase Utley here. Utley career is 4 for 9 with a couple of home runs against the Nats right-hander. Curveball and fouled. Where do you start with the Dodgers box score? How about Chase Utley's second career leadoff homer in the first? Peterson drove in 2. RBI in the second by Utley again with a base hit. And then 2 big runs for the Dodgers, Gonzalez and Puig. RBI singles to make it 6-0 fifth inning. 0-2 pitch.
I'm watching those guys. They're Hawkeye and Matt Belisle, and I'm telling you, major league hitters, especially veteran guys, they're always looking at guys' glove. They're looking for an advantage any way they can get. Especially the older players that know what to do with it once they realize what a guy's throwing.
This one the other way. When the Nats go in the shift, Murphy switches places with Danny Espinosa. So that's the first out, 6th inning. Next 5 will take us through the end of the homestand. Gio goes tomorrow night against Bud Norris. And then there's a Thursday noon game. Oral Hershiser. Clayton Kershaw.
I love it.
He also will not pitch for the Dodgers. So they're going to decide who's going to go against Strasburg in that game. Then the Padres in for 3. We are obsessed with Oral Hershiser.
What, is there a mouse in your pocket? I haven't said it once yet.
You had to bring him into the booth, and now I'm all baseball messed up.
I love it.
The Bulldog.
There he is, Clayton Kershaw.
He's on camera again. I think that is Clayton Kershaw. I've never seen the two of them in the same place.
Clayton Hershiser Kershaws.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Kershiser. It's perfect.
There you go. Well, now you're really screwed up. You start saying that, you better be careful, man.
To the right side. Hot shot for Trey Turner. Matt Belisle starting to get some quick outs.
What I was going to say, Carp, is as a young player, if you see a guy tipping pitches, meaning he's moving his glove different on one pitch or another, you have trouble controlling yourself on just swinging because you know what's coming. You'll see young players all the time. They see, oh, I got him, it's a fastball, and they'll swing it one over their head just because they know it's coming. What veteran guys like Justin Turner, Adrian Gonzalez, they take it to a different level. When they see a guy tipping his pitches, meaning he's showing them what's coming based on his gloves bigger, he sets lower, he sets higher, whatever it is, his eyebrows higher on one side, they look for everything. They take it to a different level, meaning, okay, now I know what's coming, and I'm going to get to my happy zone. So I know a fastball's coming, and I'm not just swinging because I know it's coming.
Sure.
I want it down and in. I want it down and away. I'm looking for it in the zone. Versus when you're a young player, you get so darn excited that you've figured it out. You've solved the puzzle. You're just swinging because you know what's coming. And sometimes young players don't want the pitches because they know they can't handle themselves, and they'll just swing.
Julio Urias will be the Dodger pitcher on Thursday. Nats faced him. The teenager in L.A. Turner left side, got enough of it. He's 3 for 4. Double, 2 singles for Justin Turner into the 9 o'clock hour here at Nationals Park. Well, a big crowd after the day off. Dodgers in town, folks excited. Dusty Baker bobblehead night, but nothing to cheer about except for one swing on the offensive side by Jose Lobaton. That ball slapped to the right side. Clint Robinson has it. And Adrian Gonzalez retired. Middle of the 6th. Top of the order for the Nats coming up. First game of a 3-game series. The Nats have a long way to go. Turner, Revere, Murphy coming up. And we'd like you to check out MLB.TV Premium. It's the #1 live streaming sports service. Everything you've come to expect. Every out-of-market game live in HD. Free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout other restrictions do apply in certain areas. Visit MLB.TV to check it all out. Kazmir's on a really good pitch count here. 5 innings, 58 pitches, 41 strikes. His longest inning was the first inning. Struck out Turner. 1 out later, Murphy doubled. He's been quick and efficient since. Trey Turner 6 for 20 in this go-round with the Nationals. Now a 1-1. He's just been teasing some of the right-handed batters with effective off-speed stuff tonight.
I'll tell you what, Trey Turner has an opportunity to be the leadoff hitter. This is an amazing opportunity he's being afforded by Dusty Baker. And if he grabs this by the horns, he's going to be the guy in the second half. And it doesn't mean he has to go 3 for 4 every single game. It just means he has to put the ball in play, put pressure on the defense, take a walk, get hit by a pitch, whatever it takes. Because Dusty's looking for somebody to ignite this ball club from the top of the order. This isn't a tryout. I mean, if he does well in this spot, it's his for the whole second half. They'll find a place to play him on defense. He'll play center. He'll play second. He'll play third. The defensive part's going to be fine wherever he's at, but he has a chance to be the guy in some pretty big games coming up.
2-2. And he hits one hard and way out ahead of it. Nats box score: Murphy 2-out double first inning. Robinson 1-out single second inning. The Nats did not have a hit or a base runner until Jose Lobaton went deep with 2 outs last inning. Oliver Perez throwing. And Turner lifting one to center. Jock Peterson back just a bit for the first out. So Kazmir had retired 8, then 10 in a row through the 4th and the 5th before that Lobaton long ball. Next up is Ben Revere. Mets picked up a run in the 6th. They're tied at Chicago 1-1 with the Cubs. Maybe worthy to note that Noah Syndergaard is out of that game, and Jerry Blevins is pitching in the 6th for the Mets in a 1-1 game. Yeah, his first time back tonight since he left the mound against the Nationals. Marlins picked up a game on the Nats yesterday. The Mets lost a half game to the Nats. Turner in at third, 2-0 to Revere. Up in the zone, strike one. So how tall is the strike zone for Ben Revere, asking Nissan. And a pretty good looking fastball away, 3-1.
Syndergaard threw 105 pitches, struck out 8, and gave up 1 run on 7 hits in 5 2/3. So he's probably on double secret 100 pitch limit for the rest of the season, you'd think. He's not going to go much over that.
And Revere, his 3rd grounder of the night. 2 to the left side or up the middle, and this one pulled. Gonzalez to Kazmir, 2 outs. Giants, even though they've lost 3 in a row, by the way, they're at Fenway. How about that series for Interleague tonight? Followed by the Cubs, the Nats, also with 56 wins. Cubs have 1 game in hand. And these Dodgers, 52 and 42, they're 5.5 back of San Francisco in the West. Murphy's pulled it twice. A flare down the right field line for a double, then a pop-up short right field, grabbed by Chase Utley, second time up. Marlins, by the way, still tied 1-1 at Philly. Dodgers pitched him well in LA, 1 for 11 in that series. But over 300 career against Dodger pitching is Murphy. That's to the outside edge.
I think he got Kershaw twice in October.
Well, what did he do to the Dodgers and the Cubs? Division series 7 for 21, 3 home runs. LCS 9 for 17, 4 home runs. So Murphy's gone, so are the Nats. Quiet bats except for one swing tonight. Dodgers by 5 into the 7th.
Park. When it comes to Trey Turner, everybody talks about his offensive ability and his speed on the base pass, but Turner told me recently that he feels like he's improved as a defender this season. When he came out of the draft in 2014, he felt like he was a pretty strong defender, but he hit what he called a rough patch last year, making 21 errors in 111 games, and mentioned both confidence and mechanics as reasons for that little dip defensively. But he said that he feels like this year, especially recently, he's gotten back to where he was in 2014. He says the increased reps from just being a professional for a longer period have helped. He now finds he's able to make more plays to his backhand side, and he says his confidence has returned as well. So Trey's got the offensive skills, he's got the speed, and he feels like as an infielder, he's progressing in that area as well, guys.
He's handled himself well at second base tonight. That's Dan with the Coons.com sideline report. Oliver Perez is in, 39th appearance of the year. 4.91 the ERA. And he was the losing pitcher on that Marte home run Sunday. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting at Coons. And that one right into the mask of Mike DeMuro off the bat of Grandal. And this one a mile high to the left side for Murphy. Daniel, foul ball. 1 out. Grandal's first contact tonight. Lopez struck him out 3 times. Potomac Nationals are back home Thursday. They're going to have a family pack for you Friday. Halfway bobblehead giveaway on Saturday. Halfway to Festivus, that's called. Military Appreciation Night Sunday and Dollar Monday on Monday. Tickets are still going fast. Here's Jock Peterson. Nats in a shift. He's 1 for 3 with a 2-run first inning single. Front door curveball. It stayed inside.
It's a ball? I just assumed that was a strike. All right.
Who wants it? It's going to be Murphy, the third baseman, over on the shift in front of Turner, the second baseman. Kind of interesting. Murphy playing third base tonight. We're all going, okay, let's see him over there.
Yeah.
He spent just as much time where he usually plays.
Well, it's good that Trey Turner deferred to Murphy because you always want the guy to make the play that's going toward the base you're throwing to. So if Trey Turner makes that play, he's going away from the play. Murphy going toward it and in front. So you're right. He's only rented third base for a few minutes tonight.
Here's Yasiel Puig. I mean, in some spring, are we going to open the media guides and it's just going to say IF for everybody? No more shortstop, third baseman, second baseman, just infielder.
I want to set the defense one night on one of these broadcasts where we have everybody on one side. Because the way we set it every night, nobody ever stands there.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
When we show the graphic.
When we show the graphic of the defense. We need to put like a couple guys on the right side.
Well, and then we can show what it'll be against left-handed batters, what it'll be against righties.
Should do that. Got to get with the times, man.
Yeah. That ball hammered to center. It's hanging up. And Ben Revere right there. 1, 2, 3. Bryce Harper will lead off bottom 7. Worth and Robinson after him. 9-pitch inning.
summary. This game summary is brought to you by Cox's new Contour. Get right to the good stuff. 6-1 Dodgers. They came out swinging tonight. 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the fifth. Jose Lobatone's third home run. Check out the moon.
That's what the baseball looks like to Daniel Murphy.
Look at the bottom where that explosion happened. You see that thing down there? I mean, something ran into the moon hard right there.
Tomorrow, the anniversary of the moon landing back in 1969. Well, Bryce hasn't been able to center the ball at all on Kazmir. Close play, hustling all the way. And Bryce Harper is 0 for 3. Bottom of the 7th underway.
Oh, good hustle by Bryce Harper. We'd like to see that. But we always talk about who's going to win the East and what the Nats need to do to win the East. They need Bryce Harper to heat up. If he heats up, I mean, show's over. But they need him right now. That's the bottom line. I mean, when you're the reigning MVP, your ball club needs you.
Yeah.
And he'll be here. It's going to be fun to watch when he heats up. It just hasn't really been on a consistent basis yet. So we are all sitting here waiting to watch the fireworks show that we're hoping is coming.
Correct. We have seen the flashes of it, but nothing more than a couple of days at a time. Off speed, and it's 2-0 to Jason Worth. Kazmir has struck him out twice, moving the ball away from Jason.
I mean, we always talk about Nats need this in a trade. Nats need that in a trade. If Bryce Harper locks in, that's really all you need. He can put a team on his back and carry it to wherever you want to go. It just really hasn't happened on a consistent basis, but 19 and 52 and 14 stolen bases is nothing to sneeze at.
Right.
But he set the standard so high last year with an historical offensive output that a lot of people are wondering when it's going to happen again. Fairly or unfairly, that's just how it goes when you live in his world.
That ball hit hard to left center. Worth's going to plug the gap, head for second with 1 out. And the Nationals have their 3rd extra base hit of the night.
Pretty swing right there. Let's add some serious velocity to it. Look at the slider, I believe, from Scott Kazmir, and just in the gap in a minute. And then Jason, in my opinion, is running as well as I've seen him in a long time. Picking him up, putting him down, ball to the wall. 4th hit of the night for the Nats.
Clint Robinson 1 for 2. Way outside, and Worth down by 5, not going anywhere. Kazmir, by the way, and he's in his 7th inning of work, has only gone as far as 7 once this year. May 14th against St. Louis at home in LA. He went 8 2/3. Within and out of his 4th career complete game, that was 120 pitches. He hasn't come close since. But he's got a good manageable pitch count so far. And Robinson, that's the shortstop Taylor for the 2nd out. Worth to 3rd for Danny Espinosa. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever in you, another one of the young Nationals pitchers we're hearing a whole lot about, Eric Fetty. First rounder just 2 years ago, and he's the Carolina League Pitcher of the Week with High A Potomac. Nice strikeout to walk ratio. ERA fantastic. Pedro Baez for the Dodgers. Espinosa, a taken 3rd strike and a bouncer back to the pitcher, 0 for 2.
Make this a 3-run game with one swing. It's really the only way the Nats jump back into this late. They guys hit a couple balls over the fence.
So Blake Treinen, you saw him. Looks like the Dodgers will bat for Kazmir, who's due up second in the 8th. So inside for a strike, away for ball 1. Danny has a career homer off Kazmir. We showed you earlier tonight. 2 for 7 career. Three and 1. Power guy on deck.
Yeah, he is.
He surprises you, doesn't he?
He does.
I mean, his homers just kind of come out of nowhere. The one in Milwaukee was huge. That one in Atlanta last year that helped spark the amazing comeback. 3-1 to Espinosa. Danny couldn't stop. Counts full.
Three-one changeup will get in your head. I wonder if they're going to throw it again. 3-2.
And he went with the fastball after the changeup. The Nationals have stranded their 3rd runner of the night. Kazmir, outstanding for the Dodgers through 7. Brought to you by Night Point Systems. They offer the technology you need when you need it. And by Airlines for America, where airplanes land, opportunity takes off.
It's Manny Ramirez. No. Hanley Ramirez.
Hanley Ramirez.
Yeah, one of the various Ramirez's is.
Yeah, and there's been several of them with the Dodgers.
It's time for Toyota Case for Kids. The Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a $37 donation to Children's Inn at NIH. For every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season, we'll donate something to get a new foul pole, too.
28-year-old Blake Treinen. Appearance number 42. ERA hanging in there at 2.15. Been pretty effective lately.
Pretty good numbers. 4-1, 2.15. Opponents hitting .231.
How about this? 0.79 the ERA last 24 appearances. Boy, there's some serious run on that heater, even when it's up a little bit. And Murphy throws one away. Clint Robinson unable to dig it. For Daniel Murphy, his 7th error of the year, and the first one that comes for him at third base.
Well, he's had a lot shorter throw this year, but that one's not that long. He was charging, and I think he just tried to goose the throw instead of letting her rip. Feet were underneath him. Everything was fine.
One of the new Dodgers is the pinch hitter, Andrew Toles. And now that ball gets away, and Taylor just almost walks over to third base. Pass ball scored. Toles, a 24-year-old from Decatur, Georgia, played at Tennessee. And he chops one foul. Originally drafted by Miami, but did not sign. And then the Dodgers got him as a free agent last September. His dad, you might remember him, former NFL linebacker Alvin Toles. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Casimir done for the night as they hit for him after 88 pitches.
Hey, what team did Alvin Toles play for? Because that's true. I'm not remembering him.
New Orleans Saints.
All right.
Inside the numbers with Jeep. Bullpen's been great. And this is exactly 1 month ago today that this got underway. First and third, nobody out. Chase Utley, 1-for-1 career against Blake Treinen. Got the night off to the best start possible for the Dodgers with a home run over the scoreboard. And he's going to have his 3rd hit of the night. His 3rd RBI of the night, a bobble by Harper. That enables Toles, who had stopped at second, to go to third, and the Nats could have 2 errors this inning.
Well, if he was going all the way on that, you don't give Bryce Harper an error, but because he stopped at second base, Bryce is definitely going to get one. Nice piece of hitting by Chase Utley digging that out, and I think Bryce might have peaked a little early. Ball squirts out of his glove, and Alvin Toles' son gets to third base.
Bryce Harper's second error all year.
Good block. But sometimes teams just have your number, and it seems like the Dodgers so far this year have the Nats number. We'll see tomorrow night, but I'm still holding to my statement. I know it's way out there. I know it's a head scratcher, but I believe the Dodgers are the best team the Nats have played this year. And when they get Clayton Kershaw back, their back end of their bullpen is nice. Puig hasn't done anything yet, and they're 10 games over 500. They will be around for the Giants to deal with in the West before this is all said and done. They have the resources to go out and get whatever they want.
That they do. 2-2. And a breaking ball hit to right. Harper, it's not that deep, circles behind it, sets up for the throw. Runner from first advances, at least tries to. So they hold the runner at third and throw out Chase Utley, who looks up like he can't believe the tolls didn't go off third. It's a double play. 9-3-6.
Yeah, Bryce gets an assist for this, and I'm thinking too, up by 6 runs, why not try? It looked like the throw might have been offline. Robinson cuts it. That was close at second base. Yeah, I just think you were right, Carp. Chase Utley said he's tagging at third, I'm tagging at first.
Treinen challenging Justin Turner with a foul ball off to the right.
So when you know you're out as a base runner, what do? You run into the opponent's glove and hope the ball hits you in the back. Look where Chase Utley is right here. I mean, he'd have probably been called out anyhow for being out of the baseline, but that's a last-ditch effort to have the ball hit you in the back, and it's a good lesson for young players. If you think you're out by a mile, run right toward the opponent's glove, because that's where the ball's going. Hit you in the back, and maybe you're safe. Don't do it if you think you're safe, but if you know you're out, oh, I messed up, I shouldn't have gone there, I'm out by a mile, just find his glove and run right into it and slide late.
Well, that Philadelphia team was so talented. I always thought Chase Utley was the brains of the operation. He was kind of the glue that at times didn't need a whole lot of help, but he just was in the middle of that lineup, and everything kind of happened before him to set the table, and then after him to drive in the runs, and he was right there. High baseball IQ.
And still getting it done.
Kind of back home, went to UCLA. Doing well for the Dodgers. That's a 2-2, low and away. And a ball driven to center. Ben Revere back and just in front of the track. Makes the catch. Unearned run for the Dodgers. Jose Lobaton ahead, bottom of the 8th.
Show you what Jose Lobaton did. Fastball right down the middle for Scott Kazmir. Probably the only really mistake he made all night. And it was right after he jumped up on the mound and kind of rolled his ankle, twisted his ankle. And then Jose Lobaton goes deep for his third home run of the year, and that was $250 donated by DC Lexus Dealers, the Children's National Health System. You get that for every home run a Nats player hits this season. So keep them coming. It's for a wonderful cause. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
31-year-old right-hander Chris Hatcher. 37th appearance. 43 Ks in 41 innings. So Lobaton, it appears Heisey, and then Turner. Bottom of the 8th for the Nats. Jose Lobaton will go to the left side of the plate. He's hitting .228 over there this year with 2 of his 3 home runs.
Hatcher, good fastball, 96 on average. Slider, he'll cut the fastball occasionally, change up to go with it. So at 59% of the time, good chance that Jose Lobaton sees a first pitch heater. See if he's acting.
First career matchup between the two. Just inside with the heater, 1-1. Yusmeiro Petit for the 9th. Strike 2.
So he's never homered from both sides. Thought I'd just throw it out there. We did with Danny the other night when he did it.
Yeah, twice, right?
Yeah, but he had never done it before, and we said it and he did it. So we're channeling our home runs from both sides for a switch hitter. Good karma right now. There's nothing else to do in a 7-1 game.
Target away. And the count is full.
He can go out the other way. We've seen him do that. He did it in Milwaukee, but I'm thinking he needs something to pull here tonight. He wouldn't do his buddies in the bullpen. Coming in.
Leadoff walk in the 8th. Something Scott Kazmir did not do in 7 innings tonight when he struck out 8. Chris Heisey, first career at bat against Chris Hatcher. So 5 pinch hits on the year, 3 of those home runs.
And on 0-2, staying alive. Other ball games in the division are still 1-1 right now. Marlins, Phillies, 8th inning. Mets at Cubs getting late as well.
Marlins win. It's 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that scares me there, Carp, is Giancarlo's just starting to heat up. He had the tough first half. He's striking out a lot. He's their version of Bryce Harper. If he heats up, he can put that team on his back for 2 months by himself. They need some more pitching help via the trade deadline, and they're reportedly looking at some starters, which are hard to find. Starters don't grow on trees. I mean, it's hard to go out and get a starting pitcher unless you're looking to dump a salary if you're a ball club.
Right.
You're not just going to give, oh, yeah, you can have my best starter for. No. It's got to be a guy that's in a bad contract. It's the only way you really get one at the trade deadline. If they get somebody and Stanton gets hot, they could be a problem.
Yeah, they're 8 over right now. Heisey in swing mode. Turner ducking in the on-deck circle as the ball went by him and hit the screen. Yeah, everybody talking about relief pitching, what everybody's looking for. Just not hearing much about starters.
That's a good lineup. We've said that all year with Yelich and Ozuna, who's an all-star. Real Muto swinging it.
Chris Heisey swinging it. He was way behind in the count, stayed alive. And now the Nats starting to get a line. Let's see if they can get it moving here in the 8th inning. Top of the order. That's a great pro at bat by Chris Heisey.
Well, he's giving you those all year. Off the bench, grinding. It seems like recently he's on his legs a little bit more, almost like a right-handed version of Daniel Murphy. And why wouldn't you copy Murphy a little bit? Good at bat by Chris Heisey. He bullet up the middle. And what we got going on?
Rick Honeycutt, pitching coach.
To get the lefty ready for Murphy and Harper and Revere. This is a stall piece.
Yeah, and they have 3 of them now. They added Luis Avilan, recalled him today. Nats, of course, know him very well. Right now, it's one of the other left-handers, Adam Liberator.
He was one of the Braves that hit Bryce Harper in that whole bean brawl thing a few years back.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm bored. I thought I'd stir the pot a little bit. Had some drama.
Well, right now, Bryce represents the tying run, but he's still way in the dugout. So let's see what the Nats can string together here. I mean, Kenley Jansen, if it gets close, you're going to make the comeback. You need just about all of it here in the 8th inning. That ball gets away. Lobaton got a slow start off second, and then Heisey, because of that, did as well. They finally both get in there. But Chris Heisey can't go crazy towards second until he knows Jose's going.
Well, Jose went, stopped, went. Chris Heisey went, stopped, went. Watch this from high home, or from behind home plate. Watch this. And then Heisey's got to do what Jose's doing. And then Yasmani Grandal decides to throw to second, so that was fun. All right.
That would be a game ender if you lose a runner in that situation. So now Turner, 1-0 count. He drills one to right center field. It's moving away from Peterson, and he can't get it. Lobaton scores. Here comes Heisey. Screaming to third is Trey Turner. It's a 7-3 ball game.
Hold on.
Just like that.
Did you look at what I was looking at? Trey Turner coming around second base. I didn't even look at the ball in the outfield. I want to watch Trey run. So you saw it kind of slicing away from Jock Peterson, and he made it a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought this ball was in the gap. So good effort, number one, by Jock Peterson. But watching Trey Turner run might have been the most exciting thing I've seen in a long time. As soon as he sees it drop, watch this. Okay, it's in there. Here I go. Look at this. That is flying, folks. An easy triple for Trey Turner. Wow. Line moving. And that's going to do it.
Turner, by the way, first career triple. So they were stalling for the left-hander. Dave Roberts will make the move. So Hatcher comes in, retires no one. And I tell you, that great at bat by Chris Heisey right in the middle got things moving here in the 8th inning. Now the Nats have to keep it going.
From home to first on contact is 4 flat. Trey Turner just ran from first to third in 11.3 seconds. We timed it during the break. So you talk about flying. He's not even running right here. He's waiting for it to drop. That's what a lot of hitters do. You're kind of like looking. And right here, I mean, that's Billy Hamilton fast coming around second base. And as soon as it dropped, I just watched him run, and that was one of the coolest things I've seen in a while. And I think that's our first real glimpse of the speed of Trey Turner and how that can change a game. Wow. 11.3 seconds from home to third? Are you kidding me?
That's a man who will have some inside the park home runs during his career.
He will.
So Adam Liberatore takes over here for the Dodgers, and he won't be facing a lefty. The Nats will counter with Michael A. Taylor. This will be his 40th appearance. This guy's got some kind of ERA. 15 hits in 30 innings. Taylor has not faced him. 35 strikeouts, 10 walks. Well, the Nats are in slam range. Nobody out in this inning. Murphy on deck, then Harper. First pitch. Up and away.
Yeah, Liberatore fastball, slider, change. Fastball 92, slider 85, change 85. I'm guessing by the way he's holding the ball that the change is a split.
One-oh pitch. That's up in the zone, tailing away. Strike 2. Michael A. Taylor 0 for 6 has a pinch hitter. One and two. Michael's got to get some contact here. Can't do it, one out. Murphy is next. Daniel 1 for 3 with a double tonight. 1 for 3 against Liberatore. First order of business, getting that run home from third. Make it a 3-run game. And that ball is well hit to center. It is off the very top of the wall. An inch or two at the most away from a homer, and it's now 7-4.
Unbelievable. How does that not get out? That's 7-5 ball game right there, and we got to see that again. Where did it hit? Then shocking, another hit for Daniel Murphy, a second double of the game. And I thought this was way gone. Right off the top of the fence, bounces back in. 27th double of the season, second tonight. Daniel hits Murphy, and you hear the groan by the crowd. They just showed it on the Jumbotron here, the big screen, whatever the heck it's called.
All right, here's Harper.
Check out the swing again, foot down early. We've seen it a bunch this year. 27 times in the variety of a double. Daniel Murphy does it again.
Bryce Harper 1 for 2 against Liberatore. Still only 1 out. So it's a 7-4 game.
It's like an NBA game. The Nats making a run. Dave Roberts got to take a 20-second timeout.
Upstairs, ball one. Bryce 0 for 3 tonight. 3 for 17 against the Dodgers all year. So Pedro Baez is back up. That's for Jason Worth, who's next. Clint Robinson after that. So because of the out made by Taylor, Harper doesn't represent the tying run, but the Nats are a whole lot closer than they were minutes ago. Harper pulls it. Gonzalez himself 2 outs. Murphy to third. Now because 2 outs, we'll see if Dave Roberts stays with the lefty because Robinson's on deck. If Harper gets aboard, they're probably not. So the Nats still down by 3. Jason Worth 0 for 1 against Liberatore.
So righty's hitting 200 against Liberatore this year. That's why Dave Roberts is leaving him in.
Yeah, not like lefties are hitting them either, but Murphy did. Well, Worth hit the ball really well. Left center gap last time. That's on the outside edge for a strike. Mets have gone ahead in the 9th at Chicago 2-1.
Remember after the 3-run first, I said there might be some veterans on the bench telling Ronaldo Lopez if he keeps it right there, he wins the game.
Well, that 2-run 5th inning sure looking big right now. Then the unearned run when the Nats made a couple of errors in the 8th. But the battle is on. A lot of room up the middle. Big gap left center. 1-1 to Worth. And he goes left field, but it's going to hang up for Howie Kendrick. So the Nationals pick up 3. It would have been 4, but an inch or so kept Murphy from leaving the yard.
To make it 7-4 Dodgers, heading to the top of the 9th. Nats fans, spend the summer with us here at Nats Park. You can have that mint julep if you get a summer saver pack. Buy 3 2016 regular season games and get 1 free. Some restrictions apply. Visit nationals.com/summer for all the details.
32-year-old right-hander Sean Kelly now, not Petit. Now that the ball game's a little closer. 40th appearance for Sean, 2.60 ERA, 53 strikeouts in just under 35 innings.
You saw the percentages. You remember there was a time this year when he threw the slider more than the heater, but he is digging the fastball, and so are we. And Chris Heisey stays in the game in left, and Michael Taylor moves to center.
So the pitcher is in Jason Worth's spot, the 5-hole. For the Dodgers, Adrian Gonzalez, Yasmani Grandal, Jock Peterson, top of the 9th. One for 4 Gonzalez tonight. Opposite field RBI single, 5th inning. Against Kelly, 0 for 2. Strikeout, 2 walks. Shift on. Up and in. That one's well hit. Bryce Harper. Wow. He must have thought it was as well hit as we did up here. It sounded big off the bat. He had to put the brakes on. Johnny Holiday, Ray Knight in the yard. When this one's over, it's our Nats Extra postgame show presented by W.B. Mason. Yasmani Grandal tonight struck out 3 times by Reynaldo Lopez, who struck out 9 in 4 2/3 innings. And then his 4th time up, fouled out against Oliver Perez. Kenley Jansen. The Nats made it a safe situation with that 3-run 8th, so now they hope they can get the tying run to the plate. Jansen, by the way, has blown 4 saves this year. 1 since the Nats saw him.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Absolutely. He's 3rd in the league with 27 saves. This one high in the air, deep to center field, and not catchable. Out of the ballpark, Yasmani Grandal. who got his hot streak started against the Nats in the Tanner Roark game in LA and has kept it going. Rough night until that swing.
Yeah, that's a super salvage for the Dodgers catcher. He was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. He popped up to third last time, so he turns an 0 for 4 in a really rough night into a 1 for 5 with a home run, and he knew as soon as he got it. You see him trotting out of the box. Just gets out in the first row, but a big bomb for the Dodgers. I always wondered, do you think Kenley Jansen's in the bullpen going, are you kidding me?
Not a safe situation now.
You just blew a save for me.
Joc Pederson continues to swing out of his shoes.
Yeah, I think he's hot now. You got to bring him in, right?
Managers hate to warm up their closers without using them. Shift on by the Nats upstairs. Right in there. So Joc Pederson, after all those aggressive swings, taking strike 3. 2 outs in the 9th. Yasiel Puig is next. He's 2 for 4 career against Sean Kelly. In the air to right center. Taylor under it. Dodgers done, but they pick up a big run. It takes the save opportunity away from Kenley Jansen. They have Baez now throwing again. Back on the hill. Been a while. Won his last start at the Mets. That was 9 days ago. Couple of earned runs given up in 5 2/3. Gio will be looking for number 6 and trying to get on track for a good second half. Bud Norris will be on the mound for the Dodgers. Nats know him well from spring training, some regular season stuff with Houston. So we'll get you going with Johnny and Ray at 6:30 tomorrow night. Nats Extra, Masson 2. Kenley Jansen. No save opportunity here, but he loves that heater, doesn't he?
Well, you got the cut fastball mid-90s. That's basically what he throws. He'll throw a 4-seamer at times. Opponent's at 154 off Jansen. 1 home run on the season. I think the Nats faced Bud Norris in Atlanta earlier this year.
So going to the bottom of the ninth, it's Robinson, Espinosa, and Lobaton due up.
Maybe a couple times.
Yeah, second game of the season. The Nats and Steven Strasburg beat him 3-1. And then when the Braves were here the following week, saw him again. And we have not seen hide nor hair of the Braves since the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, that's weird.
Going back there in August. Clinton Robinson against Kenley Jansen is 0 for 1 career.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to wait around for with Jansen. 52 strikeouts on the year, just 7 walks. So usually down by 4, you'll take a strike. But how many times do you see a reliever, a closer, in a non-save situation not have that same adrenaline? We'll see.
Happens all the time. Fastball rides high, foul tipped. Monday, June 20th, 4-1 game, Jansen got the save. That was a 1-2-3 inning. The next night, and that was after he became the Dodgers' all-time leading save guy. He went 1-2-3 the next night as well. But different scenarios than tonight. And that hits Clint Robinson. Ooh, cut fastball. 93 miles an hour. And Clint, that smarts, and then he runs down to first base.
This looked like a wiffle ball. Watch this thing take off. It's middle in, and then all of a sudden, at the very end, just keeps chasing Robinson. Tough way to get on, but the Nats need to load him up. They need base runners. Clint Robinson on the hard way.
Danny Espinosa, 0 for 3 career against the big right-hander. Ball 1. Trying to get over the top of that one.
I mean, such a great story, right? The guy was a catcher in the minor leagues, and he was just selected to his first career All-Star game to represent the Dodgers in San Diego.
1-1.
Tell you what, that cutter's Mariano-like. Just late and subtle. And if you remember Rivera throughout his career, righties hit him better than lefties. Why? Because that cutter broke out over the plate. You at least had a chance.
Yeah.
If you were right-handed, and there was a number of switch hitters that hit right-handed against Mariano.
One ball, 2 strikes to Danny Espinosa. Quite a take. Started the bat, able to stop it.
Runner on the move. Espinosa, hooking foul. So Clint Robinson on the move on that 2-2 pitch.
Oh, this was a bomb right here. Cut her in. Got a little too much play. Didn't really cut. Maybe that was the four-seamer, and Espinosa just geared up a little too much. Good swing. Caught it out front. Upper deck. Definitely had distance. Souvenir for the young man that brought his picker. Way to go, dude.
Nobody out. 2-2 pitch. Target up and in. Robinson running again. Espinosa hits it hard. Chase Utley just a couple of feet onto the outfield grass. One out.
Well, stayed out of the double play. Not a bad at-bat by Danny.
Lobaton next. Heisey on deck. Jose against Jansen. 1 for 1.
Well, this would be the guy to do it off of. You're gonna get a cutter in. Just hard to keep it fair.
By the way, moments ago, the Cubs had the bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the 9th. The Mets hold on to win 2-1. Familia, of course. Marlins fills in the 10th. Right here, it's the bottom of the 9th. 0-1 to Lobaton. That's a bouncer that Utley will get to. Robinson to third, 2 down. Chris Heisey. Pinch hit last time, the Nats' last hope. Heisey 1 for 2 against Jansen. And the mask right off of Yasmani Grandal's helmet with that foul tip. Big crowd, 38,747 tonight. A sellout, and they've watched the Dodgers come in here, score 3 in the first, and hold on to win 8-4. The Nats now are 0 for 9 with a hit batter against Kenley Jansen this year. No save for him, but Kazmir beats Reynaldo Lopez as the Nats rookie makes his big league debut. For FP and Dan, I'm Bob. Final score: Dodgers win it 8-4. Join us tomorrow. Gio goes against Bud Norris. Johnny and Ray with coverage pregame beginning at 6:30 p.m. This has been a presentation of Masson. Nats Extra with that duo coming up next. And from Nationals Park, so long for just a while.